Today, we're joined by Blake Gillingham, who is a professional goalkeeper with the Houston Dynamo FC. Blake's journey includes college soccer, time developing in the USL League Two environment, and most recently earning his first MLS contract in minutes at the top level. So today we're going to talk about his path, what it's really like to make that jump to the pro level, and advice he'd give to players doing the same. So Blake, thank you for taking the time. How are things going for you right now?
It's going very well. Thank you for having me. I'm currently in the middle of my second preseason here with Houston Dynamo. So I'm a little sore, but today's an off day, so just resting and taking care of my body. But it's been going
Bef-
very well.
Before we go, we're gonna go all the way back to your college days, but like, what does a typical week look like for you in terms of like training and all of that? I'm sure it's a lot.
Training here right now, it's Monday to Saturday, and we start at about 9 a.m. and I'll finish up and leave at about 2. So we have training and lift every single day, and we just usually have a scrimmage on Saturdays. So training Monday to Friday, scrimmage Saturday, and gym every single day. So that's what a
Is
typical week looks like.
is it different for a goalkeeper? Like, are you doing different stuff training wise than other players?
Yes, 100%. So we do kind of specialized goalkeeper training every day for about 30 minutes to an hour with the team, or a little bit before we join the team, and then we join the team for the rest of the time. And then, of course, there's extra shooting and stuff after. So it's a grind every single day with training, and then they work us hard in the gym as well.
Of course. So we know where you are now, but let's talk about how you got here. So when did you like first realize that this is something that you can maybe like make a career out of and take seriously?
It was my freshman year in college. So I played, like academy growing up back in the day. But once I got to college, I realized that I could actually, hopefully make a career out of this. And I really pushed myself to be better every single day. So I started off my journey at Santa Clara University, and I went there for 2 seasons, and I transferred out to Creighton University. And once I joined Creighton, I felt like I put myself in a new environment and pushed myself to be better and just took a step up in everything about myself and my game, and then pushed myself to be a professional. But once I transferred schools, I really set my mind and focus on trying to be a professional.
What was the biggest jump you think you had to make in order to push yourself to do that?
For me, it was really prioritizing my time and focusing in on my school and soccer. But I think my biggest thing was leaving my hometown, going to somewhere where I didn't know anybody, nobody knew me, and basically I had a chance to start over and recreate myself. So when I transferred schools and moved to Omaha, Nebraska, I think the biggest thing for me was the weather because I
Hmm.
lived in San Jose, California. So getting used to that, but just putting myself out there, basically being able to recreate myself, getting really good coaching, and I was really lucky. I got to spend 2 summers playing USL League Two. So I was able to train every day and get games because the college season's a little bit skewed with, you have your fall season and then spring season. There's all these time limits and stuff. So I was lucky that I took a couple summers and just really focused my entire, 2, 3 years of just straight grinding to be able to be a professional athlete.
Well, let's talk about the USL too. You spent time with RKC.
Mhm.
What type of environment is that that's different from like playing in the Big East?
Playing in the Big East. It's definitely different. There's a different group of people. So when I showed up, it was the inaugural season. So we had couple players from Marquette, Green Bay, Indiana. We had players from Creighton. We had players from all over. So it was super fun to get guys that were all pretty high quality level at different colleges that I'd either played against or knew of. And it was a really fun group that we got together, and the coaching staff was great, as well as the ownership were great to us as well. They really took a lot of good care of us. But I think the biggest thing was getting a group of guys that all wanted to be professional, that are all in the same mindset of wanting to develop and get better every single day. And when you put around a really good group of like-minded guys, everybody's going to push each other every single day to improve as well as performing. So it was a really good opportunity. And my first team, I think there's about like 5 guys that are playing professional
Wow.
soccer now, which is crazy. So we had a really good team, so we kind of lucked out with that, but we had a really good group of guys, and it was honestly just getting the boys together, hitting the gym, hitting the field, and I really enjoyed it, to be honest. I really liked living there for the summer, and there was a lot of stuff to do outside of football as well, but it was really great to get a good group of guys and train really hard for a summer.
With the season being that short and it's kind of like you're trying to cram so much, how do you think that kind of prepared you, I guess, for what you're doing now?
It prepared me for kind of the mental strain and the mental test. Physically, the college season is much shorter than the professional season that I learned when I got here. When I got to about, March and April, I was like, that was about the time of a college season, and we started in January and finished in late November. So it was a lot of college seasons forced into one, but just being able to be on the road, traveling, being tired, but still having the discipline to get everything done that you need to get done and take care of yourself, your mind, and your body. That's what college really prepared me for, was the mental task of having to take care of myself and everything that I need to do. And the biggest jump for me was the physical strain, was having to take care of myself for the whole year, performing week in, week out the entire year. But jumping from college, it was very big for me. I'm much more prepared now in my second season, but the jump was very big. But mentally, I was definitely ready to go. It's physically that's the biggest obstacle I had to get over.
Well, I feel like people don't really understand. You don't really have an off season as a soccer player, right?
No, you
Even
get
when you're
about
not
six
playing
weeks. Yeah, you get
six
about six
weeks.
6 to 8 weeks, yeah, in the whole year, but you need to stay fit and ready for the next season. So I took a solid 14 days of just hanging out with my family and grandparents, and then I was back, hitting the gym and then slowly starting to train to get ready for this year. So it was about
Wow.
14 days I took off.
So do you ever feel like fully recovered, or you're kind of
Uh,
just always
You're
always
kind of
going?
always on it. The adrenaline's always going, but the biggest thing is taking care of your body, especially on off days. Like I'm gonna be sitting down doing the Normatex and watching some Premier League football for the next couple hours and doing nothing and taking a nap. So those are the biggest. Off days are important, but it's just taking care of your body day in and day out to make sure that you can be the best that you can be when it comes to training and game day.
Perfect. Well, let's talk about the MLS. So, what was the moment that you found out they were offering you a contract, and what did that feel like?
So I showed up to Houston on trial, and it was
Hmm.
kind of a trial mentality of, just doing the best that I possibly can every single day. And after a preseason trip, we took a trip to Florida, and I got the chance to play for about 45 minutes, and I did very well. And a couple of days after, they told me I had a contract, so I was very happy. And when they sent it over, I read it over about 50 times just to make sure it was the right thing. It didn't really feel real, but once it got sent over, I was able to call my family, tell them everything worked out. So I was very excited and ready for the season to start.
And goalkeeping is a lot as a position. Um, how do you like stay focused, I guess, and stay sharp when like you're not always guaranteed to be playing all the time?
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me that some of the older guys on my team told me, so I'm lucky I have a GK union of veterans,
Hmm.
of guys that are about 10, 15 years older than me, and they told me like on the first week that I was there, it's every single day prepare and be ready in case they call your name. And you
Hmm.
have to prepare every single day as if you're going to be playing on the weekend, even if you're not, because a couple weeks, about 5, 6 weeks after I signed my first ever contract that I became a starter. And I
Wow.
was training that entire time as if I was going to play. And eventually, once I played, I was ready to get out there. But it's always the mentality of showing up every day, doing your best. And then when your name gets called, it's all about performance.
What is the biggest thing that surprised you about playing in the MLS?
The speed and the
Hmm.
physicality. The speed is a very big step up from college. It took me a couple weeks, especially as a goalkeeper. These guys are very accurate and have a lot of power in their shots, and they put it side netting, top corner all the time. So I was getting crushed for about a month, and then I was able to ease in and find my strengths and take care of those and find my weaknesses and work on those. And that's what made me a lot better in a very short amount of time once I got to the MLS. But the speed and the technicality is a very different level than college. It's a very big step up.
So thinking back when you were like about to go into college, younger, what is something like you would say to younger players to like keep in mind or something that helped you, you would say?
Something that helped me was definitely the biggest thing was taking care of your schoolwork going into college because if you don't take care of your schoolwork, like if you don't have good grades, you're not going to be able to play. If you don't take
Mhm.
care of your schoolwork, you'll be way more stressed out, and then when you're training, your mind will be somewhere else. So my biggest thing was just taking care of the controllables and everything that I can take care of, especially when it comes to schoolwork, because when you go to college, they throw a lot at you. Like you're a student as well as an athlete. That's why they call it a student first student
Mhm.
athlete. So I tried to take care of my schoolwork so that when it came time to practice and came time to play, that I could be totally mentally focused on my sport and the thing that I love to do. So my thing is just controlling what you can control and taking care of whatever you need to, and everything else is kind of up in the air. But if you can be disciplined to take care of your controllables, I think it'll go very well when it comes time to play. The only thing you have to focus on is just playing your sport, which is a great thing to have.
Hmm. And your story sounds like all sunshine and rainbows, but I'm sure it's not. Were there any like setbacks you had that you really think like helped shape you as a player?
Yeah, I had some injuries before college and going into college, so it really helped me focus on taking care of my body and recovery, where I'd have little nicks in my hips or a shoulder or a wrist or something. So along the way, just learning from the injuries, learning from the setbacks, a hamstring pull, you realize maybe you should have stretched more the night before or slept better. So another big one for me is just learning how to sleep properly. That's a big one that people kind of forget about is, you wind up scrolling on your phone for a couple hours and you get 6 hours of sleep when you should be getting 8 or 9. So it's all the little tiny details that came out that I was able to pick up and learn along the way. And that's something that everybody kind of has to figure out what works for them. But I'd say just trial and error, seeing what works for you and what doesn't. But I got lucky and I picked up a lot of good advice from people on the way, and learning from the dudes who are older than me and just asking a lot of questions helped me out a lot as well.
And being in a really unforgiving position, I would say, how do you kind of handle that pressure, I guess?
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and the position it's tough because one week you're a hero and the next week you make a mistake and everybody hates you and you're a villain and you're getting posted all over social media. So it's a really hard position, and I got really good advice from a goalkeeper named Andrew Tarbell. He told me when it's a roller coaster, try to stay right in the middle. When everything's tossing and turning, you're up super high and you're down super low. Just try to ground yourself and stay in the middle emotionally and physically and stick to your routine. So my thing, I have a very good routine, before practice, after practice, and in my day, and sticking to my routine really helps me out mentally to stay grounded, whether I had a week where I did really well or I had a week where I didn't do very well. I can stick to my routine and keep pushing and chugging along, no matter how good or bad it gets.
That's a great answer. I love that. Okay, here's the big question. So, for players that are, playing in the USL2 or playing on teams like RKC and they want to go pro, what actually matters the most in doing that?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, first off, it's a little bit of luck, but second
Mhm.
off, it's performing when you get your opportunity. And everybody, the first thing is, preparing yourself, training really hard to get that opportunity. And when your opportunity comes, you got to be ready to take it. So my biggest advice would be training as if it's not your last day ever of training, but training as if you're going to be playing on the weekend, training as if you know that you're going to be a professional someday. And it's all about mentality. And if you have the drive and the push to really get after it, it's every single day you got to be taking care of your business, taking care of your body, taking care of your mindset. And that's about all you can do because you can only control so much. But I tell people to control what they can control, make the most, push themselves, and really when the chance comes and your opportunity arrives, take the most of it.
Wow, that was great. Okay, you hit everything. Do you have anything else you want to add about anything? Floor
I
is
don't know.
yours.
I mean, I tell people if they want to play USL2 summer ball, go over to RKC, talk to Wayne. That's my guy. I love him. I love the whole family, and the staff there is always great. The setup that they have is solid and the city's beautiful. It's amazing in the summer. In the winter, not so much, but it's a good thing that it's summer ball out there. So
Exactly.
I loved my summer out there. I had a really good time, and I'm really happy that I can be a part of this and that I was a part of the first ever season. And we did super well that season, and a bunch of guys went pro. So I tell the people that show up there, just show up, be ready to work hard and get better.
Amazing. Well,